My name is Jack Morgan and I'm 60 years old. For the past 20 years, I've lived with the sound of sirens, the smell of smoke, the heat of fire, and the tears that come after. I'm not a professional firefighter. I'm just a volunteer in a small Midwestern town in America. I never thought I was born to be a hero. I only wanted a peaceful life, working in my father's small woodworking shop. But sometimes destiny starts as a small spark and then becomes a fire that burns for a lifetime. People call us heroes. I don't think that's true. We're just ordinary people trying to do the right thing in the worst moments. If we can save even one life, then this life is worth living. And this is my 20-year journey of a man who wasn't born a hero, but lived as a silent firefighter. I grew up in a small town where everyone knew each other. My father was a carpenter, my mother a nurse. I loved simple things, working in the morning, fishing in the afternoon, fixing the old house on weekends. One day when I was 26, a massive fire destroyed my neighbor's house. I just stood there, helpless, watching firefighters rush into the smoke and carry out a little boy, still alive. When the boy opened his eyes and asked, "Where's my mom?" I realized that some people are willing to give everything so that others can live. That night, I couldn't sleep. I went to the local fire station and asked, "I don't have any experience, but is there something I can do to help?" The captain looked at me and smiled. "If you have a heart strong enough to face fear, you can start by cleaning." And that's how it began. Washing trucks, rolling hoses, sweeping ashes. I wasn't born to be a hero. I just wanted to help. But I didn't know that those small things would lead me into a journey that would define my life. Time passed quickly. From a cleaner, I learned how to roll hoses, connect lines, and eventually took basic training. At first, I didn't dare enter burning buildings. I only helped from outside. But once you've smelled smoke, you never forget it. There were nights when the alarm screamed at 2 a.m. I'd jump out of bed, throw on my gear, and race through fog-covered streets. Rain, snow, storms, nothing could stop that siren. I saw houses collapse, eyes full of despair, and the tight embraces after the fire was gone. Some asked me, "Why don't you quit? You're just a volunteer." I'd smile, because how could I sleep knowing someone out there was calling for help? Every scar on my hands tells a story. One burn from rescuing 2 children trapped in a car, one faint from smoke in a factory. I've cried for lives I couldn't save, and laughed when a baby was born on a wet lawn after we carried her mother from a burning home. 20 years, not just time, but thousands of sleepless nights, the smell of smoke that never leaves your hair, and the belief that sometimes even the smallest act can save a life. I thought I had seen it all, until that night. It was winter, 2009. The wind was sharp and cold. The alarm rang at 10 p.m. Fire in the East Mobile Home Park crackled the radio. By the time we arrived, flames had swallowed the row of homes. Screams echoed. Smoke was thick. As I connected the hose, I heard a woman shouting, "My baby's inside! Please save my baby!" Without thinking, I ran in. The heat was suffocating, my eyes burning. I crawled low, following faint sounds, then I heard soft sobs in a corner. A little girl, maybe 5 years old, hiding under a table. I grabbed her, wrapped my jacket around her, and ran. Just as we crossed the doorway, the roof collapsed behind us. I fell onto the snow, holding her tight. She coughed, opened her eyes, and whispered, "Thank you, mister." 3 simple words, but they set my heart on fire. In that moment, I understood. This is why I exist. I didn't tell anyone, didn't want praise or headlines. But that night, as I watched the fire die down, I knew I had found my purpose. From that day on, I never doubted my path again. I was born to run into fire, not because I'm brave, but because someone out there needs me. After that fire, people in town started to recognize me. The local newspaper wrote an article calling me the silent hero. I received thank you letters, handshakes, and admiring looks. But I wasn't comfortable with it, because I knew, that night, it wasn't just me. Without Captain Mike pulling the hose, without Sarah guiding the light, that girl and I wouldn't have made it out. People only see who walks out of the flames, not the dozens who stand behind, unseen. I've always believed true heroism is shared, lived by those who never need to be known. Whenever I pass that burned down block, I don't remember fear. I remember that girl's grateful eyes. And that's enough. I don't need medals or ceremonies. I just need to know that because of that night, a child lived. People ask me, aren't you proud? I smile. Yes, but I'm proudest that I'm still just an ordinary man. 10 years passed in a blink. My hair turned gray, my hands trembled, but I was still at that small fire station. One afternoon, as I was washing the fire truck, a young woman walked up. She smiled brightly and asked, "Do you remember me?" I looked at her puzzled. Then she held up an old photo, me holding a soot-covered little girl. I froze. "That was you?" She nodded. "You saved me that night. Now I'm studying medicine. I want to save lives just like you saved mine." I couldn't speak. My throat tightened. She hugged me and whispered, "I never forgot." When she left, I stood there for a long time. The sky was golden like fire, but in my heart another flame burned quietly, the flame of gratitude and of life carried forward. Now I'm retired. The hands that once held hoses now just hold a cup of coffee. But whenever I hear a siren in the distance, my heart still beats faster. I used to think heroes were people who were celebrated. Now I know, heroes are those who do what's right, even when no one is watching. On my wall hangs a photo of my old crew, faces that went through fire with me. Some are gone, some still serve. I don't need medals. I don't need my name remembered. I just need to know that somewhere out there, someone is alive because of what we did. The flames will die, but courage never will. And if someone asks me, "Do you have any regrets?" I'll smile and say, "No. I lived my whole life in smoke and fire and found light within it." This isn't just the story of one firefighter. It's a reminder of the quiet power of kindness and courage that lives in all of us. So if you believe stories like this deserve to be heard, share it. Help me keep that flame alive and carry it into more hearts.